Good afternoon, everybody. How are you? I hope you're well. I'm excited. I'll tell you about something in a second. I'm carrying on from the last video. The kind of main theme about this weekend is mulch, 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 because we're due another heat wave. I've decided to leave the mulching to be my second to last job of the day. My last job of the day. Second to last job. I'm going to do some watering. We haven't had a drop of rain in 9 days now. The garden is looking okay, but from that previous video, when I lifted the leeks and I was putting all my spare random brassicas in here, there and everywhere, wow, the ground was dry, so dry, it's shocking. So I think what I'm going to do, because I'm here today anyway, is do a really, really, really thorough watering, absolute soaking, then put the mulch on. I'm leaving it till the end, partly because I want to get the water on first. There's no point in mulching bone dry ground. But also I'm really nervous about wrecking my back again. So I think just leave it till the end of the day, and then if it's too much for my back, I leave it. The main thing will be, it's getting plants in, getting them watered. I've got another big physical job that I'd like to see if I can do today as well, in terms of gathering, raking up leaves. We'll see. Anyway, I'm really, really excited because, hey Poppykins, one of my neighbours, the wonderful, the lovely Joy, I'm trying to think if she's ever... You'll have caught glimpses of her in my videos. She's, if I go right to the end of my plot, if you hop over the main path, there's Catherine, who I've talked about before. She's next door to Catherine. So Joy is my neighbour across the main path. Now, she's very similar to me in her attitude towards the environment in general. We're identical. The environment in general, I said gentle, I was thinking of Poppykins, but and the way she gardens, we garden very, very similarly. And one of the parts of that is both of us love our heritage vegetable varieties. We love our open pollinated varieties that we can save seed of from year to year. No F1s for either of us. We love the sort of the history behind seeds. The more scarce the seed, the more exciting it is. We both love to obviously save our own seed, but save enough to be able to share and disseminate. Now, she's just given me some seeds. I'll tell you about in a second. And of course my reaction was, oh, what would you like from my garden? I always like to, give something in return. I was just like, oh, I'm not sure. She went, oh, coco de Paimpol. What I hadn't realised was she'd had some seed about 3 or 4 years ago. Loved it. Fell in love with it. That gorgeous creamy bean ganache that they make. And had saved seed. And then the subsequent year, they all failed. So I hadn't realised that she's been without for a couple of years. So of course, when I do my coco de Paimpol seed harvest, she will get the first packet. She has given me today, yes, it's another bean. Now, what I'm really excited about is about 3 or 4 years ago, doesn't matter, she gave me a plant of this, one plant. She had it spare. I don't know how long she's been growing these, but anyway, she had one spare plant, and she knows that I'm really passionate about keeping these older varieties going. She knows I love the stories. So she had decided, I love this, she's just telling me now, that of all the plotters on this site, she was going to entrust it to me because she knows that I'll care for it, bring it on, harvest seed, make sure that seed continues. Unfortunately, and I mentioned it in a video back then, I was like, ooh, new seed experiment, yay! The sogs had it, demolished it. So, this is, I'm going to open it with you. Oh, it's so dry already. Now, it's a bean for, you can eat the pod, the whole pod, obviously when it's green and not crunchy dry. So it's a type of runner bean. I guess that's the closest thing, but look. Oh, I can't, they're going to fall. They're all precious. There's 4 seeds in this pod. Let me show you. Look at those beautiful, black, shiny, quite big beans. What? No! No, Poppy, don't eat it. It's just got this precious treasure and I've thrown it everywhere. She is going to try and give me a couple more pods once they're dry. This is the one called, well, she doesn't know exactly the name. It's either called Black Churchill or Churchill Black. I wonder if I can show you if I put them on here. Oh, they're going to fall. Beautiful, really beautiful sized bean. So I asked her, because she was saying it's like, you know, she eats the whole pod, and she had a couple of fresh pods to show me. They're sort of dark green with some purple tinge to them, really beautiful looking. And then I was asking her about eating the whole bean rather than the pod, and she was saying absolutely yes. She doesn't tend to, because we've had a little conversation about the windy pops from beans. I generally don't suffer from that, thank goodness. But yes, either pod them when they're demi-sec and freeze them when they're wet, easy for cooking, or have them dried and then they'll need an overnight soak and a boil. Can't wait. I want to plant them now. It's like, Vivi, where are we? September, October, November, December, January, February, March, April, the middle of May. I've got to wait 8 months to play with these. How am I going to do it? Yeah, I'm really, really excited about those, and hopefully this year, because it's a quantity of seed rather than just one little plant, I will hopefully get at least one of them to fruition, to the stage where there's enough for eating a few, saving a ton of seed, and being able to disseminate the seed even further. Woohoo! Just a note on that whole windy pops thing. I don't have an issue myself, iron guts I guess, but I have heard from other folk that if you add winter savoury to the cooking, when you're cooking beans, it can ameliorate that side effect, shall we say. I've not tried it myself because it's not an issue for me, but yeah, I've heard that from a lot of people, a lot of sources. So if you love your beans but you don't want to be trumping all night, try adding some winter savoury. Honestly, that's made me so giddy. It's just a handful of seeds, Vivi. You know, Jack and the Beanstalk, I would have done exactly the same as Jack. I'd have traded my cow for these. Brilliant. Now, on the subject of seed, I am going to sow some seeds today. Oh, Poppy, am I not giving you enough attention? These cats. What I should do is I should just basically spend the first hour of every gardening session just cuddling cats, and then they might leave me alone. I don't want to be left alone. Yes, I'm going to sow some seeds today, and I've got one last tray of plug plants to plant out. What's amazing, I've got your hair in my nostril now, sweet girl. What's amazing, having now whacked out all the remaining brassicas, bung them in. The deck is finally clear. There's finally space for my deck chair on the deck. And it's 1:30 to put the deck chair away for winter. Hey ho, right, let's go and sow some seeds. It's a bit of a tight space for sitting. Oh my goodness. I'm so excited about those new to me seeds to try. I can hardly concentrate. Concentrate I must though. So, how crazy to be sowing midway through the second week of September. Cool, that's a lump. A solid clay. But sowing I shall. I'm going to try one last little sowing of carrots. I'm so awkward here. The variety I grow is Autumn King. In the past, I leave them in the ground all winter and into spring, and I usually do my last harvest in maybe April. So, and they do grow over winter. They store in the ground, they grow. So I've got another packet, thank you so much Karen, of Autumn King from the Seed Cooperative. Got a little hole in the bottom, don't lose any. Actually, let's take gloves off. So I've just made, I don't know if I'll have enough for it, 4 shallow drills, as normal. Giving them all a really good soak because, like I was saying, goodness me, we are so dry. Right, let's get half the packet. That's about half the packet. And divvy this between 2 rows. So just a really light sprinkling. Like I said, I've moistened these, well, I've soaked the drills beforehand. So they should, they should be able to get away because the soil is warm still. So that should help to trigger germination. We still have good long daylight hours at the moment. The clocks don't change until the end of October. So they've got, 6 weeks now to get going. Get going. Yeah, 6 weeks to get going. We'll still be mild right into October. Just going to cover my drills again. Who knows? Put it this way, as with everything else, if you don't, stone in my bum, if you don't try, you won't know. Suck it and see, as my granddad would say. If you looked in a bag of toffees and didn't know what one of the toffees was, didn't know if you might like it or not, suck it and see. So I'll do those 2 rows, I'll come round to do those 2 rows, and then I've just fished out my little bits of metal mesh to put over this, because now that it's freshly disturbed, I don't want the foxes to think there's something buried in there that they should have a look for, nor do I want the cats to go potty. Oh, love it, love it, love it. Such a happy day today, for the simplest of reasons. Beautiful weather, lovely friends, exciting new seeds to try, hands in the dirt even at this time of year, new things going in the ground, loads of lovely jobs to do. What's not to love about growing your own food? Right, this is definitely a case of hope over expectation. Oh, my little fennel plugs. There were more than this. When did I say them? It was just before the heat wave. Then I missed a few days of coming to the garden because that stupid 4-day migraine. And the ones that had come up, they fried. They fried in the heat. They fried and died. So, yes, definitely hope over expectation. I've just noticed some of the ones that I direct seeded on that day as well. Tiny babies popping up. Oh my goodness, this is so late to be thinking about fennel. So late. This is normally May through to the end of July for sowing. Pushing my luck. Now the other thing, this is really interesting because when I talked about it in the video at the time, people shared their experiences. I was saying that I'd always been led to believe that fennel is one of those things that hates having its roots disturbed. So don't sow that weed out. Oh, bindweed there. So don't module sow where you want to grow. But then lots of you What is that? You're out. Lots of you got back to me and said, actually, you've always module sewn, and they've been fine. So I felt a bit reassured by that. I don't think this is going to be not the best experiment to either prove or disprove, couldn't think of the word then, that theory, because it's so late. But bung it in, see what happens. Oh my goodness, this is the year of bunging it in to see what happens. Now this is one of those, so it's in a gravel tray, no holes, and then this is one of the modules that Paul gave to me for my birthday from a place called Container Wise. Really good rigid plastic, nice, can you see under that, a nice good capacious hole for sticking a finger up to pop up your little plug plant. You know what's happened? The other day when what was I planting? You know, my very final sowing of cabbages and broccoli that were in the modules, that went in after my onions, and I was saying how fantastically well the tool had done to stop them being slug or snail attacked. I had it over this fennel as well. I've just seen one of the fennel has been nibbled right at the base. I think that's because, what's down there? Oh, I know what's down there. What I mean is, just been bitten by something. Sorry. I'd had the tool around both the module tray of brassicas and the module tray of the fennel. Obviously, in disturbing the tool to get to the brassicas, I haven't put the tool back on properly. One of them's cocked it. Never mind. Oh, sorry, there was something I forgot to say about the carrots. I'll tell you about that as I'm putting this next one in. Oh, got my finger stuck. I mean, they're lovely little plants. It's just really late. Oh my goodness. Yeah, with the carrot bed, where I've just seeded now, done that seeding, in terms of preparing the bed, I've not done anything. I kind of gave the top a quick little flick, the top of the composter soil with this, just like, no massive lumps, make my drills, wet it. I've not added any compost, chicken manure, nothing like that, because actually carrots don't like a freshly manured bed, freshly fertilised bed. They will have a tendency to fork massively in a manure-y bed. So yeah, whenever you're sowing carrots, do it in a bed that hasn't been manured since at least the previous season. Everything's so dry. Now, the other thing to say for this bed, I used the, I don't know if you can see any of it left. I used this stuff that was like cat litter as a slug barrier. Oh, I'm going to have that out the way. I'm just I mustn't forget them, just getting some of the dried coco de pampol out of the way to make way for these fennel. Yeah, I used that kind of cat littery, I think it's basically a calcium silicate, and I've got enough to do another application. So I'll get the rest of these in. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'll pop them in, give them all a really good watering, and then I'm going to do a ring of defence around them again. You know what? Who knows? Who knows? I've got the plants. I've got the space. It's not going to be particularly any more work for me to have them in. Obviously I think over the next few days, I think we're all going to be watering again. But you know, it's just one little teeny tiny corner of the garden, so might as well. And the thing is, even if they don't even if they don't get massive, then, bindweed. Oh, I love it when I get a big chunk of bindweed out. Yeah, even if they don't get to full size for me to have my beloved fennel risotto, even if they bulk up just a little bit, then they'll make a lovely salad. So, might as well. Someone was asking me the other day, I can't remember how it came up as a subject, but about buying vegetables, and I said, well, I don't generally. Oh, I know, it came up as a conversation, part of the conversation about tomatoes, that tomatoes, tomato paste, tins of tomatoes, tomato sauce, haven't bought them for years. Haven't needed to. Aren't I lucky? And I'm very, very grateful. So, as a rule, no, I don't buy veg. However, I'm not that stubborn that I won't make an exception every now and again to have something as a treat. So, a treat this autumn will be, if these fennel don't come to anything, I'm so going to buy one from the shops. I've got a really, really lovely greengrocer right next to me. So, and they always have lovely fennel in stock, quite reasonably priced. So yeah, I think it might be one of those autumn treats when the days are getting a bit shorter and the weather is getting a bit rubbishier, less time in the garden, a day when, I'm feeling a bit fed up because I want to play out and I can't. I'll use that day to say, okay, buy a fennel, make fennel risotto. Such a beautiful plant. Look, isn't that the most pretty thing, that foliage? Oh, great for the foliage if nothing else. And that's what I mean if they don't come to size, I'll just have the whole, stretching. I'll just have the whole thing out and chop it up, fronds and all, and make some sort of salad from it. Good, okay. Good. Getting on with these last few jobs. I love it. Clear the deck, literally and metaphorically. I'm clearing the deck. Right, let's go and put these somewhere safe and think about the next fun thing to get on with in the garden on this beautiful, perfect autumn day. Please grow, my pretties. Oh, so pretty. This is one of the ones that I direct sowed. Not exactly the biggest bulb in the world, but all of this is gorgeous and edible too. Just 3 or 4 more down this end. Yay! But I want to show you something that's just caught my eye. Which way should we go? Let's go this way. The colours of autumn. So wonderful. Oh yes. Look at that. Such a beautiful deep orange. Oh, you beauties, you pair of beauties. These oranges that are coming at this time of year. Obviously orange of the squash. The pretty nasturtium. And look how they're glowing in the afternoon sun. My calendula. These are now being left for seed saving. Let me just bring you this way. Yeah, I'm leaving them all now for seed saving. Oh, I might have one more harvest of flowers. I love them. Happy, glowing in the afternoon sun. And then this nasturtium, oh my goodness, this is a beauty. Such a perfect yellow. Oh my goodness. Oh, you are gorgeous. Look at you. Doesn't the sunshine make all the difference though? That wasn't what I wanted to show you. Getting distracted by all these lovely colours. Yes, plenty more tomatoes to pick. I feel like that's all I do every day is pick tomatoes. But that also is not what I wanted to show you. Coming down this way, because I've cleared the deck of all the pots and brassicas and bits and bobs, it just struck me how beautiful the blueberry bush is. Its stem seems to have gone, or becoming redder by the day. So beautiful. And look how these leaves, they're turning. Oh gosh, such beauty. It's like flames. So there's a lot of green on there still, but where the leaves are just starting to turn, and with those lovely pelargoniums that kind of need deadheading, but beautiful. This little corner of colours, gorgeous. Oh, I mean, look at this leaf. Look at the colour of that. You are audacious. Beautiful. Now, interestingly, this one isn't going over quite so quickly. I wonder if it's because it's in a bigger pot, it's a bit more comfortable. I don't know. But yeah, I'm so delighted to have blueberries in my garden, not just for the fruit. Oh, I just saw one. I just saw another. Look at that. Where are we? A little bit wizened. I'm having it. Not just for the fruit, but for the gorgeous. The blossom was beautiful. I'd never seen blueberry blossom before this year. But what I'm really loving is this gorgeous fiery red in them as we go into autumn. Beautiful. Thank you so much, Richard and Paul, for the plants. Oh. Today has been such a lovely day. Such a lovely day. Sometimes it's kind of hard to put your finger on why it's so lovely. I think a combination of the brightness, the warmth, every now and again a little bit of a breeze, but generally it's so still in the garden today. There are loads of folk around today, it's the weekend, and of course we're all saying hello to each other and exchanging seeds, so excited. But otherwise everybody's quiet. Everyone. No one's playing their radios today. Quite a few of my plot neighbours who are down would normally have their radios on. Somehow this day has got into everybody, and everyone's just quietly getting on with their gardens. Oh God, it's been beautiful. Today is the day that I've fallen back in love with my garden. I don't think I was ever out of love with it. It was more like we had a tiff for the summer. But yeah, definitely in love with it today. And you know, most of the things I've done today, the carrots, the tiddly fennels, the tiddly brassicas, maybe none of them will come to anything. But actually, on the one hand, it won't matter because there's plenty of other food in there. It's not desperate, thank goodness. That pressure is off. So if it doesn't come to anything, has today been a waste of time? No, not at all. Because if nothing else, today has been a day for just taking the metaphorical volume and speed down. A day for going slowly, being quiet, having the time to notice things all around, notice the ground, notice all the wonderful bugs that are hopping and crawling about. It's just heavenly, so wonderful. I try never to take the garden for granted. I know that I'm really, really lucky, not only to have been given an allotment, but to be given an allotment on such a wonderful site full of just the most glorious, magnificent people. today is one of those days where I really, really, really deeply feel how special it is and how fortunate I am. So yes, you know, 99.9% of the time for me it's about growing food, getting the food. But there's always that little one bit that's got nothing to do with my belly and feeding it, and everything to do with my soul and feeding that. So, it's the middle of the afternoon. It's still beautifully warm and bright out there. I'm going to give myself a few minutes now just to sit and watch and listen and feel and smell. And then I'm going to crack into some hard work. So I've done all the jobs I want to do today. Now the focus is on watering and mulching and maybe raking some of those leaves up. The leaves aren't a priority. They'll be there tomorrow. Watering and mulching is a priority. So that's gonna shake me and wake me from my reverie, isn't it? I will go slowly. All right, my lovelies. On this beautiful, peaceful, warm, gorgeous autumn day, I hope from the video you've had a sense of that too. I do hope so. I hope more than anything that you've all relaxed a bit whilst hanging out with me in the garden today. I do hope so. So on that note, I'm going to say cheerio to you all. I'll see you again soon. I'm not sure where or what I'll be doing, but I will see you again soon. So until then, please look after yourselves, look after each other, and enjoy whatever garden time you can. Till then, bye for now.